Good morning, everyone. Last episode we covered all this up in preparation for the last colour to go on. After the last episode, I also sanded and prepped all the tops of these and spent a little bit of time off the camera fixing them up. So what we're going to do now is probably going to put our last coat on, but I'll do all the edges first, and I'll probably go around that my usual 3 times. So I'll come back each time that I do a different coat. So we're after 3 coats, I'll come back 3 times. So I'm going to make a start. I've just done 1 layer on the top lip. So we'll just bring this up now and we'll start to put some of the darker colour on. So we'll feather that on. I'm happy the way that bit went on, and it is feathered pretty fine, although I might have to turn it down a little bit more again. Yeah. So now we'll do this section. Oh, I'm sure you've all seen what I just seen. Paint splatter out. So let's turn it around. There's really not that much on here, so we'll just, man, the first blast is a splatter. We're only putting a light coat on first. Okay, I can already hear someone saying, "You don't have any gloves on." That's quite alright. I'll manage. Look, clean. Alright, there's 1 coat. So we'll let that go off and we'll come back in about 10 minutes. So there is the 2nd coat done on the top and on the side. So we'll give that another 10 to 15 and we'll come back again. Just while I'm waiting this to dry. I mean, I just wanted to mention that even if you don't have an airbrush, and you don't have to have an airbrush to model, you can hand paint all this stuff. It doesn't really matter. And the tops, the masking up is still the same. It's just the way we're applying the paint is just through an air gun, not a brush. So yeah, anyone can do this. And as you can see, the last stage, there's really not much left that's not covered up. I mean, there's layers and layers and layers of tape on this ship now. The big reveal is when we'll see how well I did. So it's not quite 10 minutes yet. The last 2 coats I sprayed from this side out on that edge, and when I turned it around I did exactly the same. This time, just in case I missed anything on this edge, I will paint this edge back and obviously give these another hit as well. They're not bad, they just need a bit more. Well, there is the last coat laid down, and this time I laid it down on this edge, back that way, just in case we missed anything. An extra coat across the camouflaged areas. They're still drying. And the other thing I probably want to mention is, you've kind of got enough when the green tape is now really gone into the grey, knowing that it's thick enough and covered enough. So yeah, that's pretty happy with that. Can't wait for the reveal when we pull all the tape off. Now let me get some of the other parts ready. So we need to do all the raised sections on this, and also around the torrent and around the last bit here. And I'm probably going to say across there too. I better double check that actually. Okay, I just double checked it, and yeah, because that's technically like a floor base, so we're going to do that as well. I'll do this and then I'll come back. Well, there is kind of one coat down, and you've got the different colours on the floor here. I know the grey is very similar, but you can definitely see it there. It's still drying, so we'll let that one go off. So there's one coat on that. I didn't do the end bit because we haven't done the chain so far, so I'll have to come back, work that chain out, and then come back and finish it off. But the majority of it's done while I'm here. There's the two floors done. Now let's get some other parts out. Some of these smaller sections with this the darker paint, I'm trying to do all the floors, and anywhere that I can see the inside wall there or along here, like that, even inside of here, that's what I'm trying to now hit. Even underneath, I'm just trying to hit a little bit under here, you know, the little bit of the floor. Some of this stuff you're not going to see, but I'm just trying to hit it anyway, even inside here. So I've got the gun turned all the way down and just very, very finely going around it. Again, I'll give it a few coats. The point of that being that once this is all done, we can then concentrate on the camouflage on the outside, probably block some of this off with some tape and other bits and pieces, and then, yeah, we'll just keep going. So that's the first piece, but it'll need a few coats, so I'll put that one aside and then I'll do the next one. So there's the next one before we start. So there it is with the dust coat on it and dried. Now I've got the paint turned all the way down, and I've even thinned it so I can't even absolutely do it. This is how small it is that's coming out of the gun. It's barely marking it. Well, there's a good few layers on it, and what I'm really concentrating on here is pretty much the floors, and before I do any camouflage or anything else, because I'm going to try and keep the floors and camouflage the rest. We'll give this piece another hit. Well, there's another coat on this, mostly for the floors. There's the first coat on this one. I just did a dust coat over the chains that I've taken off. That's probably the final coat for the rear section of the floor. There's the second coat on the rear section of the superstructure. It's not bad, it's looking pretty good. There's the second coat just on the nose section. Probably the next coat I'll come back and hit the whole lot and catch this one back up. But we're going to let him dry for a bit first. There's the next coat done on that. So we'll give this one here its last coat. So the floors look like they've got a nice coating on that one. Just roll that over. Still drying. Not bad. Okay, going to call that one the final piece as well. Not final piece, final paint. Although I might hit these just a little extra. Just those. I technically forgot to paint them. Well, there's all the floors done. And I think what we're going to do while that's drying off and I'm working at the next piece, I think we're going to call it a day here. I hope you enjoyed this episode and all the other ones. I'm really enjoying doing the build and seeing it all come together. I'm really enjoying showing it as well. So yeah, it's something different for me, and yeah, I'm quite enjoying it. Anyway, we'll catch you on the next episode.